What up, guys? That Comic Awesome here, doing another review, doing Rags #1. And this is further proof that I need to get better about reading indie comics, because this is a great book, which 100% does not feel like an indie comic. This feels like something put out, maybe not by Marvel or DC, but definitely by like IDW or like Image. It's well written. The art in it is fantastic, and I love the black and white with the accented colors. I think that's a really neat concept. It's digital only, which I'm going to post the link to the comic down in the description. It's only $1. Go buy it. It is so worth it, especially again when you're supporting some really great artists and writers and stuff like that, from trying to get a really great book out there. So first off, I really like this catch-up page. You kind of get this like character block and some character summaries, which lets me know like, hey, these are going to be some main players. You don't know kind of who these other 6 people are, and I know this is since it's digital only, I'm doing a screen cap, and you guys don't get to see my frantic hand movements as usual, but just trying to close your eyes, if you will, and imagine my hands flailing about. Again, you get this nice character block. You get a little blurb. So Regina Ragowski, service, United States Marine Corps, other than honorable discharge, pending status change, and then Riley Hawkins, occupation farmhand. So I'm assuming now these are 2 main people that I should care about. Then you get a nice little blurb here. There was a terrorist attack which unleashed a plague that went across the state of California. Of course, that plague started turning people into zombies, even though they don't call them zombies. They kind of do like they don't really call them anything. It's not like Walking Dead where people call them walkers or whatever. But they're not labeled yet, but essentially zombies. There is an old World War II training base that is now a refugee camp, and there's a small town outside of that refugee camp that is overrun with carriers of the plague. So I guess that's how they call them. They're not zombies, they're carriers. Trapped in this town is U.S. Marine Corps veteran Regina Ragowski. She doesn't care about the plague. She doesn't care about safety. All she cares about is finding some comfortable pants. That's a great catch-up page, because now I already have the world kind of built in my mind, of a kind of zombie apocalyptic stuff. But also from the description, I can also gather that it hasn't been going on too long. Like the outbreak maybe just kind of happened. Maybe like we're like week or months in. Like it hasn't been like years or anything. So we start off, she's naked on the floor, and what I like about this too is it drops you in the middle, and it really doesn't give you any idea of like who these other characters are right away, to the point where you assume, again, if I just see this panel, these dudes are in some nefarious plan against this naked woman laying on the ground. But as it turns out, they're just some locals who, again, got startled more or less, and kind of accidentally attacked her as she was trying to flee. It does make sense why she's naked. Later on in the story, it does go into that, so it's not just like gratuitous, hey, why is this chick running around naked in a zombie apocalypse? It makes sense in the story. So they help her up. She's just trying to find, at this point now, she's like, look, I just need to get some clothes. And you can tell she's upset. And again, what I like about this is it Tarantino's it a bit. You're in the present. Well, the second half of the book is maybe the hours or two leading up to this moment, and it makes so much more sense why she's like breaking down here. It's not just like, oh, I'm naked, and there's a zombie apocalypse going on. There's a lot to why she is so upset. And I also too like the very natural realistic portrayal of a strong woman. It's a lot of people think like, oh, strong women, like they have to be like, almost like men. It's like a strong woman doesn't have to be like a man. Like I picture like a strong woman like an egg, and that's maybe like a really bad analogy, but like they a strong woman is as strong as they put on that front. But then when the situation is over, it's like the like moms who can lift like school buses to save their baby. Like they have that like temporary strength of like being able to like handle anything and like take anything and like kick ass and do that. But then they need this like downtime and this like recharge period, and that's where the emotions kick in and take over. And that is what she is experiencing right here, is those emotions that like she's trying to be tough, but it's like you can't be tough all the time kind of thing. So there's this the kid Riley, who is the one that like hit her again, and he apologizes. He's like, look, you startled me, I didn't mean to hit you in the face. And she's like, well, I'll try not to get in your way while being naked next time or whatever. So he tries to lend her a hand, and she kind of gets onto him about like she's naked and vulnerable, and she's like, look, dude, I don't want your like creepy like 19-year-old ass like looking at me as I try and like figure this whole situation that I'm in out. Like I don't need you to like be up in my business, like, which is totally understandable. So she ends up getting his jacket, so she's at least somewhat clothed. She's kind of like taking it out on like the leader of the group. Again, this is just like a small group. He apologizes. He's like, look, I didn't mean to put your gun in my face, but there's crazy things going on. And she's like, yeah, no hard feelings. Like, what's the aversion to, clothing in this town? Because this store is completely empty. As it turns out, the military has, come in and taken pretty much all of the supplies to bring to this military base where there are refugees. Totally makes sense. And then this is, I kind of, again, only Brian could explain this, and I don't know if he did this intentionally or if this is the actual name of the mall, but the mall's name is MacGuffin Mall. Anybody familiar with like literary terms, a MacGuffin is like just it's like an object or a plot point that just, it's something to advance the plot forward. It's your like, black briefcase or Maltese Falcon or, just an object that just moves the plot forward. So I don't know if that kind of is a little call to that, or if in California there actually is a MacGuffin Mall. Either way, I kind of got a little chuckle out of that. But this is like, so if you look right here and just the art on this is what I'm talking about. So it's a black and white panel, and you just accent her red hair and the red on the jacket, but the shading and everything else gives it such depth and like a really, really cool look, and I dig it. I really dig it. So she's pretty much just trying to leave to go now to this mall to find a pair of pants, because she doesn't want to. Obviously, the last thing you want to be is naked when around a bunch of zombies. But then she kind of goes in. It kind of goes into the backstory of how she got to where she was. And I want to skip a couple panels. I'm trying to think where just the like the small editing mistakes, but like one of the big ones is so if you notice in the whole beginning, she's wearing shoes, but then if we like flip to the very end, she's barefoot. That was like one of those little things I was like, an editor should have caught that and like made the artist go back and redo it. But again, it's still, I don't want to like focus too much on the on her nudie parts, but like even the zombies and stuff or the carriers look amazing. But yeah, go buy this book. It's $1. Like, it is so worth it. Pick this up, support some great indie artists, and I'll post the link in the description, but subscribe over on the right, watch some more videos, hit me up in the comments, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you next time.